Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wingcat Sports, and it's our Michigan and Michigan State postgame. Michigan losing at home for the first time in 23 games, 31-12. We predicted that would happen. Yeah. That was expected to happen. Overall, it's still a question to why they did not play Orgy at all. They stayed with Davis Warren, and a lot of people are not happy about that.
Well, I'll be honest with you, because neither one of those quarterbacks are any good. That's it. I mean, that's it. I, for one, I'm not a Michigan fan, guys. That was one of the best things that could have ever happened to me on a Saturday was watching that. Back to reality for you guys. Welcome back, Rich Rod era. Yeah, in answer to that, I mean, you have two quarterbacks that are really not that good. I'm sorry, Warren. When your starting quarterback is a walk-on, you're not going to compete on a national level. You probably got another 3 or 4 losses waiting for you.
Yeah,
but you can't blame it all on them. That secondary is not good. You have a new offensive line that was struggling yesterday. You lost 11 or 12 guys to the NFL.
Yeah,
how are you going to replace that?
Oh,
but don't expect to really compete this year, guys.
I mean, basically, and you lost a legendary coach. So I mean,
think that's huge too.
But the guy, you got to be able to recruit. Why do you have a walk-on quarterback? Why don't you have a guy like Texas has or Ohio State has?
Both.
Why don't you have a JJ McCarthy? Why? I don't get that. I mean, unless Harbaugh just basically said, I ain't going to do anything and I'm going to dump on this team, or the people who are running Michigan are incompetent. I disagree with you. I thought the defense was good.
I thought their secondary got lit up.
I don't think they got. I think that they played a really good team. I think Texas is a really good team.
Oh yeah, they're number 5 ranked.
And I think that you can only hope for so much. But when you have a totally, I mean, you have like what Michigan State's offense has been for the last 3 years. It's not acceptable. Not to go from a national championship team to this. I've never seen a worse follow-up to a national championship than what I saw.
Well, even more of your top programs, they might not win a natty twice in a row like Bama or Georgia, but they're still in the hunt. Ohio State every year is in the hunt.
You're not even competitive this year.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I think that's a real eye opener.
Competitive with that offense.
If they would have had last year's team playing Texas, it would have been a different. It could have been a different outcome, much closer, anyways.
You have no playmakers, zero. You have no deep threat. You didn't throw the ball down the field once. MSU has a better quarterback than you do. And that's not acceptable. I mean, at least I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm glad MSU is back on track. But you need to at least be on the same level or something. You're Michigan. You're a top school. You should not go a year with a talent drop like that.
I thought at the beginning of this year, like I wasn't even going to watch the Michigan State game. It wasn't even going to be competitive. But like follow up what you said, there's an absolute chance watching.
I think State should be favored.
Both games.
I think State should be favored.
Yeah.
So looking at the game overall, Texas viewers did have a really good game. 246, 3 TDs. Texas rushed 143 yards to go off the fact that Michigan's defense didn't look the greatest. I mean, it's about what we expected.
No, I thought all in all they gave up a lot of third downs. But all in all, I thought if their offense had spent any time on the field, if their offense was able to generate points, that would have been a much more
Warren didn't really
score.
Warren didn't really have that much different of a day. He was 22 for 33, 204 yards, a TD, and then he threw 2 interceptions. If those 2 interceptions didn't happen,
it's not just Warren, it's the coaching.
Yes.
It's the play calling. That was the dullest offensive scheme I've ever seen in my life. It was boring. It put me to sleep. I couldn't watch it. It's basic. They have one play, And it went. It was the best play they had all day was when they did that little flea flicker. They tried nothing imaginative basically outside of that. And I don't get that. I mean, you got to throw deep now and then. If you can't, then I have to question the people who recruit this team. I don't think Sharon Moore is the guy. Even after 2 games, I just don't think if that's what you recruited, if that's the job you did, because that's your job.
Sharon Moore needs to. He deserves a chance. He at least deserves
a year.
Chance.
He deserves
a year. And
then he could be.
Apparently,
shows that he's
apparently he has.
You're going to get trounced.
I mean, apparently,
every time you play any decent team, you're going to get trounced.
We'll see in 2 weeks when they play USC.
Apparently,
they're going to get trounced.
Apparently, he hasn't signed a contract. He's not officially signed.
Well, good.
So that means you don't have to really worry about him.
They were.
No, he's not officially signed.
I think right now Michigan's people should be on the phone to Nick Saban saying,
"How about Urban Meyer?"
Hey, I'll tell you what. If I was a Michigan fan, no one's off. We shouldn't even be talking about a coaching change. But if it ever came to that, I don't care if it is someone you hate. If they can get you wins, I would have Urban Meyer. If State needed a coach right now, I would have him he'd be definitely a consideration.
But moving on to Michigan State, a game which I predicted would be close. We both agreed that they probably would lose, but I thought it was going to be close. They ended up pulling out a win, which, like I said when we first started doing these, that shows that they are a very capable team going and beating what has been known to be a decent Maryland team the past few years
at home.
Yeah. At home.
Well, College Park is notoriously hard to play at.
And Childs, he was 363, 3 TDs, 3 interceptions. So who knows how much further the game would have been if he didn't throw those 3 picks. They rushed well for 130 yards. They looked like a better team than probably most people thought they were going to be.
Right. I mean, what did they do? The Michigan did do. They threw downfield. They had some really big plays that set them up. You're right. I mean, this is a young kid.
He's only 18.
Young kid. This kid could be great. He's already better than anybody on Michigan. And I like I said, that's what you want. You cannot win at the college level without an above average quarterback. You have to get great play from your quarterback. And despite, with the 3 interceptions, but I still say he's somebody to watch out for. I'm glad Michigan State's going in the right
I will
direction.
say that at least Childs is probably the best quarterback Michigan State has had in the last few decades.
Since Kirk
I don't
Cousins.
know about a few decades.
Since Kirk Cousins.
You could have an argument there.
No,
he
hasn't reached that level yet. I'm
Who
just
else?
glad he's competent. I mean, Michigan State's had some great quarterbacks.
Lewerke?
What?
Who's better in the last?
Who's that guy who played
years?
for the Lions? Drew Stanton?
Oh, he sucked.
Drew Stanton was great. He got them almost a title. How many titles did Michigan State have under head?
D'Antonio.
You're talking over 20 years ago, Mike.
D'Antonio was in here 20 years ago.
But still, they're playing well right now. They're playing good. They're playing decent, and it's what kind you want to see if you want to have that rivalry spark back up. And I mean, they're going to have a real chance going into Ohio State to be undefeated. And if you can make some noise against Ohio State, Prairie View.
Oh,
I mean, I don't think anybody's beating Ohio State other than maybe Oregon or somebody, one of the Pac.
Well, the bright side for Michigan
Ohio State has admittedly gone out and purchased themselves a Big Ten title.
Well, the bright side for Michigan State going into the Ohio State game, if they can be undefeated, they play Ohio State at home in East Lansing. They're not playing at the Shoe. They're playing at home.
It doesn't matter.
They're going to get trounced.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Ohio State has gone out of their way this year. They have become the Yankees. They are spending money, and with this NIL and portal crap, they are guaranteeing themselves.
And I'll keep saying
this
NIL
Oregon
stuff has gotten out of hand, and it's not even become college football. It's basically NFL light.
We are not even on 2 levels below them. We're like 4 or 5 levels below them right at this point. That's it's inexcusable to me. As a big time program that just won a national championship, I know you've been going through some crap. I know losing Harbaugh made probably some recruits not want to come here. You've got to do better than what was out there.
Luckily, next week you play
coaching wise.
You play Arkansas State, So a nice week to get yourself back together, right? Playing a crap team. You have dropped to 17.
I don't think
Michigan State
anybody
is still not ranked after being 2-0.
Well,
So
I don't think
you can't take Prairie View very, very
seriously. No.
Well, you can't take them lightly. Look what happened to Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Right,
we're about to
exactly.
get to that.
there is not a team on
Everybody
Michigan's
looked
schedule.
at that and goes Northern Illinois.
There's
They
not a
suck.
team on Michigan's schedule I can say that can't beat them. They should beat them, of course. But the way that team is right now, other than their defense,
Yeah.
I don't think their defense is going to give up many points to beat teams like.
And
Prairie
with these
View.
new teams, I don't know who Arkansas State is. Do you know how good they are? I don't know who they have.
Well, I mean, they're 2-0, but I don't know who they played.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what conference they're in.
Penn State almost lost to Bowling Green. I mean, it is weird.
Iowa just
like
lost
I said,
to Iowa State.
Yeah.
Iowa State, yeah.
It is weird out there. And even in the pros today, I thought it was a really strange day. Teams that, who the heck? All they did was tell us how horrible New England was all year
Beat Cincy.
long and tell us how great Bengals were going to be. They're going to bounce back. Yeah, right. Well,
So we'll see what happens this week. But overall, right, Michigan a little bit not disappointing, but expected. Hopefully, we hope they played a little bit better against Texas, but it's the wake up call
the
that most
season
people
isn't
need.
done. Michigan fans just don't. I mean, I could just see all these Michigan fans abandoning ship already, and you can't do that.
Well, you can do that because there's no loyalty out there. I've become. I'm going to be a Trojan fan this year.
They could be still a 9-win season.
They can't be a 9-win.
I don't know.
Season. There is no way in hell. There's no way in hell. If they win 8 wins, it'll be shocking.
They'll still go to a bowl.
I still think they're going to lose 4 games. That'll be probably what
they're going to lose.
4 games is what I predicted MSU to win.
And they're going to lose. Well, they're going to lose more than that now. So what do you got? Because they're going to lose to USC. We didn't have them losing to USC.
USC is not ranked higher, so we'll see what happens.
USC is going to beat them senseless.
So as I said, we'll see what happens as the year goes on. But with all that being said, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, share the video around. Let us know what you think about the game day.
And tune in later on. We will have our Lions post-game show.
Yes.
Well, that would be before this. But no,
Yes.
it's fine.
Make sure
But
you got
till
your
next time,
Detroit Ram jerseys on. Number
did you
9.
see everything?
No.
Soon.
You're complete.
Bye.
You're a complete
Bye.
asshole if you wear a Detroit.
Bye.
Kelly Stafford.
Bye.